Welcome to the Undo Dilemma minisodes, where we unpack the real stuff people are facing at work and in life.
The weird, the wonderful, and the way too familiar.
Each week, we pick one listener dilemma and try to make sense of it with care, curiosity, and no corporate nonsense. Let's get into it. Okay, so the subject line of this dilemma, which is our last dilemma of season 2.
Oh my God.
So you're very lucky, listener, to get this
right
one.
Right before
right
the
in
cut-off
there.
time, yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
So our subject line is it reckless to start over at 53? Hi, Dulcie and Yemisi. Firstly, thank you. A friend of mine sent me the Defining Success episode a few weeks ago, and I haven't stopped thinking about it since. It somehow managed to hit every nerve and soothe it all at once. So here goes. All right. I've been a lawyer for nearly 30 years. I've spent the last 19 at the same company, in-house at one of the big professional service firms. The work has been good to me, brilliant even. I've had a solid career, raised my 2 now grown-up children, and ticked every sensible box I was supposed to tick. But here's the thing, redundancy is coming. Nothing official yet, but it's been brewing for a while. And weirdly, I don't feel dread. I feel curious. For years, she's a girl after my own heart. For years, I've been quietly taking pottery classes. It started as a once-a-month thing, then weekly. I adore it. My teacher keeps saying I've got potential. I've got real potential. And lately, I've caught myself wondering, what if I actually did it? What if I left law behind and trained full-time as a ceramicist? I'm 53. I own my home, the kids have flown the nest, and if the redundancy package is what I think it will be, we could probably downsize and make it work. Logically, the pieces could fall into place. But emotionally, I feel ridiculous. Walking away from a stable, respected career to retrain in something my friends and family have always seen as just a hobby makes me feel a bit embarrassed, self-indulgent, and foolish. That's a voice in my head anyway. I've always been the sensible one, the steady one, the legal brain in every room. And now I'm thinking about throwing clay for a living. I don't want to waste what I've built, but I also don't want to spend the next decade wondering what if. How do I know if this is bravery or a breakdown? And how do I face the judgment, real or imagined, that comes with changing the script so late in the game? Thanks for letting me get this out, Jules.
Oh, Jules.
Jules.
I had the thought in my head, but then it left.
Oh.
Because I'm kind of I'm slightly envious of her situation in that.
I'm really jealous.
When she said, her kids have flown the nest, she owns her own home. Right. And I'm just like, you own your home? There's nothing to worry about, girl, do you?
Right?
This is a case of the head and the heart. Your heart is yearning for this thing that you've identified that gives you a lot of joy. But your head, which is made up mostly of societal programming and the culture you're in and your own life experiences as well, is telling you almost the opposite thing. But here's the thing. I'm not saying... I'm not one of those people who thinks, it's head versus heart. I think both of them serve their purposes. You use your head. That's why you're in the position you're in now. Stable job. Well, not so stable recently, but really, honestly, a very stable career. Yeah. You have kids that have flown the nest. So that means they're well-adjusted adults because they have left your house. And, they don't seem to be an issue, concern for you. You own your own home. So you've used your head throughout your life, right? You've done the thing that you were supposed to do. Like you said, you've ticked all the boxes you're supposed to tick. And what's the reward for that, Jules? When you've done everything you're supposed to do, what then? And it seems to me that you are in a lucky position to have identified your what then. Like, you've seen the thing that you could potentially do that would almost make all the other sacrifices you've had to make, because it's not easy, right? You've had to make worth it. This is the thing. And it's almost as though you feel you're so used to having done your duty. You mentioned self-indulgence. It's like you feel a guilt. I'm hearing a guilt around doing something that is not for anybody else except for you.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, girl. If you're looking for us to tell you that it's self-indulgent, what if it, if it is, so what? Indulge yourself. You've done the hard work. At some point, you need to reap the benefits of that hard work. And it's not as if like you can end up training, right? And it ends up being, actually, no, I just want to keep this as a hobby. It's not something I don't like. You can find out so many, you can't predict the future. All you can decide on now is, what should my next step be? What should I do next? As opposed to, what should I do for the rest of my life? You may change your mind, and that's fine too. But you're almost trying to like predict the future at the same time as the present, and is making things super messy. What interests you? Follow that interest for as long as you can, for as far as it to take you. And then something else may come on down the line that is more aligned to something else that you're interested in. And then you follow that, and then you follow that. That's life, really. So I honestly, I say, look, I'm happy for you. That's just a long way of saying I'm happy for you, girl. Like, you are in a very enviable position. You have the opportunity to explore something without some of the other constraints, financial, for example, your mortgage, or familial, your children, that would have typically held you back from following your interests. You owe it to yourself, I think, at least to explore this. Even you're not married to the idea, right? You don't have to be saying, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. You just have to take that next step. And I think this is a perfect opportunity to do it. But that's just me.
Yeah, I agree totally. So I think there's a few things going on here from what you said in your letter, Jules. One of them is, the subject line said, is it reckless to start over at 53? Age. And I'm not going to lie to you and say that your age is not a factor. Of course it is. Like, you have more life behind you than ahead of you, most likely. And I don't say that to be frightening. I just say it to be honest, right? And even within that, there's only so long that you have strength, right? And that you'll want to be working at anything. And so it is not reckless to start over at 53. I think in your case, it might be essential to start over at 53. Because you don't want to regret it. You said it yourself. I don't want to regret this in 10 years. Then that's it. I read an article not very long ago, I think it was in The Guardian, that was about people on their deathbeds and what they talk about.
Yeah, the five regrets of the dying.
Exactly. In this situation, on your deathbed, you're not going to be regretting not spending another decade in law, but you would regret not having given it a go at becoming a ceramicist, because your passion was there, at least for a time.
Agreed.
So, if you're worried about your age, worry about your age, but turn that worry into something practical. I'm saying that it is too late to procrastinate.
It's too late to procrastinate.
Right? It's too late to procrastinate, girl. You are old enough and wise enough to know that if you don't really push now, you're probably not going to. So do it. Do it. However, caveats. You have spent a really long time in a very structured job, in a very structured industry, in law. Everything is logic. And I don't think all your fears are just, about what other people might think and whatnot. I think some of it is just the fear of the unknown. And so I think you need to start bringing the known into it. And also, it's not all or nothing. It's not a binary. So redundancy is knocking on the door. If redundancy actually does come up, then that's one decision that's been made for you. Whoopee. Right? Your other choice remains, like, do you want to find another role in law? And I'm sure with your experience, you would be snapped up. Despite your age, I really don't think that's an issue here. I think you would easily find another role if you wanted to. So you do have options at play here. If you don't feel quite ready yet to go all in on becoming a ceramicist, you're talking about things like downsizing and everything else. It feels like you're very all or nothing. Have you considered maybe dipping your toe? So looking at potentially doing training as a ceramicist, but doing it part-time, while also getting a part-time work in the law. So maybe something that is a bit more senior or consultative that you can do for maybe 2 or 3 days a week, and then 2 or 3 days doing ceramics. Go and start talking to ceramicists. Try and understand, like, what is the growth path for you if you were to retrain? What is it? What is the end goal? Are you trying to, create to sell eventually? Do you want your own brand? Are you trying to become, retail at Anthropology, or have your own little independent shop in Brighton or something? Like, understand what your path is, because I think when somebody like you, with the legal mind that you have and the desire for certainty, which I think is a skill if you're a lawyer, you probably need a bit more desire for certainty, because once you are more certain of what the path forward is within ceramics, within pottery, you'll also then have the words to speak to people around you. So those friends and family that you think might think it foolish, I can almost promise you they're not going to think that at all. And if anyone were to say that, it's jealousy, not anything real. But if you were able to have more of a plan that you were certain of, that would enable you to present it to others in a way that instills confidence in them also. Not that you need their feel of approval. like you don't need that,
it's
but
your life.
It's your life. But that's all well and good me saying you don't need it, but we live in relation to others. If you feel like you need, you would feel more comfortable because there's a certain impression of you out in the world and you want to maintain a certain brand for yourself. Then if you want to put more structure around it for your own certainty and to present it to others, then talk to people. And no matter what, if you're moving into a new thing, don't move in blind. It's one thing I love pottery myself. I'm going back into pottery this summer. I love it. And there have been moments when I have thought, oh God, I'd love to just do this for a living. But I wouldn't be making any serious moves in that direction without first of all talking to people who are doing it for a living, because there is a big difference between a hobby and an outlet versus a career.
Huge.
There's a really big difference there. So as much as you are really gifted at pottery, it is a hobby for you at the moment. And so moving into it in a more serious way needs more research. And apologies if you've already done that research. I realise I'm talking to a lawyer, so you probably have already done all that thinking. But just make sure as you move into it with excitement and passion for pottery that it is something you want to do. And then maybe if you need to de-risk it a little bit, potentially, if redundancy happens, look at part-time roles. Look at different roles that allow for flex, so you can do a bit of both while you get more into pottery and understand, in reality, is this for me in the way I thought it might be? And if it isn't, that's okay. And something else will come along. Law's always going to be there. You can always go back into that full-time too. Or you can decide to go part-time full stop and just enjoy yourself and the fruits of your labour. So I say all that to say, do it. Make the moves you want to make. Don't end up regretting things. But to satisfy your seeming desire for certainty, do your research, do your Googles, and just go in with your eyes wide open. So yeah, well done you. Well done you on a responsible life, well lived, raising your children, having property. Getting your coins, girl. These are things that many people your age mates aren't doing, haven't been able to do. So it's really something to be proud of. Be very proud of yourself. Be proud of yourself to even giving time enough to a hobby to find a new passion and a new skill at this stage. Again, a lot of your age mates aren't doing that. They are just drowning in the day-to-day. So you've already shown that you are quite an exquisite person. And whatever you do next, I know you are going to excel. So Jules, all I can do, smash it. Okay, smash that.
Get it?
Okay. So whatever you do, Jules, we're just going to move past that. Whatever you do, you're going to excel. And I just wish you the best of luck. Good luck.
Good luck, Jules.
All right. Well, if you have been in a similar situation to Jules or know somebody that has, and you have some advice that you could impart, head to Instagram or LinkedIn at This Is Workwell, and please do share your advice. There is a post up there. There should be a post up there with this dilemma on it. So please do share any advice that you might have about Jules' situation. And if you're going through it, you might even be able to find some advice that could help you too. Cannot believe it.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. It's the last dilemma of the season. There will be another full episode next Monday, but there won't be a dilemma episode next Thursday. So we won't be back with dilemmas until autumn. That said, we are still looking for dilemmas, so you'll hear more in the closing message. But feel free to keep sending those dilemmas over, and we'll pick those up.
Guys. And thank you so much. I think I've been really overwhelmed with the response and the receptiveness to our call for dilemmas. Because it takes a certain level of bravery as well to be able to, even if it's anonymized, to put those thoughts to paper as it were, and share them. And in the kind of hopes of helping others as well, because you could do it privately, but you chose to do it in this forum, and other people are benefiting from it. So thank you so much, guys.
Yes, thank you so much, and we will see you with some of your agony aunts. We've not really called ourselves that throughout this, which is ridiculous.
No, we haven't really seen a lot of like agony, which yes. I'm quite happy to see, because my response to that would be therapy.
I mean, like, there was the one...
Can we even attempt to even give any information? I don't like...
There was that one where that girl was trying to, like, steal the other girl's life.
Yeah, that was like a Black Mirror.
That was, like, slightly agonising. I hope everybody's okay over there.
Yeah, I think maybe the one with the ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, that was a bit...
Yeah, can you imagine that being agonising?
Quite agonising.
I love how we're, like, trying to qualify...
Yeah, we've had a bit of agony.
Right.
Not too much.
The relative agonies of our dilemmas. But
so maybe we're not agony aunts, we're discomfort aunts.
We're dilemma dames.
Dilemma dames. I like that. Feels like a drag act or something. Dilemma dames.
It'll work.
It works.
Potato.
Exactly. All right, guys, we'll see you in autumn. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this week's Undo Dilemma. If you've got something sticky, awkward, or just plain weird happening at work or in life, send it to us at dilemma@thisisworkwell.com. You stay anonymous, we talk it out.
And if this helped, pass it on to someone who might need it too.
And don't forget, new full-length episodes of Undo land on Mondays. So wherever you are in the week, we've got you.